What is up, guys? It is the Sports Sir Brad Walker, and welcome inside the Sunshine State Sports Jabber, part of NGSC Sports. Guys, remember the website. It's ngscsports.com for all your current sports content. The Sunshine State Sports Jabber, guys, is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website, arenaeats.app, for the ultimate fan experience at your favorite sports venue. Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order? Welcome in, guys, on this Monday. I know I just saw you guys just a short 3 days ago on this very show. I didn't do my show last Monday, guys. I had a family thing that I had to attend to, so I decided to do my show on Friday last week instead of Monday. So I made it up. Made it up for you guys. So yeah, so that was pretty cool. I hope everyone out there, guys, is staying safe with the coronavirus. Everyone is on most people around the country are on spring break. Um, so hopefully everyone out there staying safe, wearing your mask, staying away from guidelines. I know personally at work, we have just all returned to the office today. We've been out again since last year, working from home a couple of days here or there, but for the most part, most of us were none of us were in the office all at the same time, unless there was unless it was really really busy. But hopefully, everyone vaccines are starting to become more open to people out there. So hopefully, take advantage of that if you want to. Again, no one is forcing you to get a vaccine if you don't like to. That is up to you on your own, and no one's again forcing you to get one. Anyway, guys, let me go ahead and dive into my show here. A lot of people ask me, why would you come back on so early between now and Friday? Well, here's the thing, guys. Things change. News changes. NHL free agency has began. And I'm going to dive right in with the Jacksonville Jaguars. You know, like I said a few days ago, I was talking about them drafting Trevor Lawrence. Obviously, that still is the number one priority. But earlier today, they signed Carlos Hyde and Philip Dorsett to add some weapons as well to give that chance. Running back Carlos Hyde and wide receiver Philip Dorsett have both signed contracts to play for Urban Meyer's team. Hyde's deal is worth 2 years, worth $6 million. Where Dorsett's contract details are still unknown. But that, again, will add some weapons to a young quarterback that probably will be coming in. Hyde was Seattle's backup running back, but did miss several season games, injury due to illness. He had 81 carries for 356 yards and 4 touchdowns, along with 16 catches and 93 yards. Other words, your typical backup running back. Dorsett signed last year at an injured foot, never suited up for the Seahawks, even though B.J. Finley had a couple of special team snaps during his short time in Seattle. So these are the first 2 Seattle free agents to head elsewhere in 2021. So again, those two both signing, Hyde and Dorsett both have signed with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Again, these are 2 weapons that definitely on offense that can help a young quarterback like a Trevor Lawrence that most likely will be a Jaguar here within the month. So it's going to be interesting to see where the Jaguars go, but they have made some splash in free agency. They also signed defensive lineman Dwayne Smoot as well. Smoot was he was actually drafted in the 3rd round, the 2017 draft by the Jaguars. They brought him back. One of their own. He had 25 total tackles a year ago, 21 solo with a team high 5.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and a fumble recovery. So he is coming back to Jacksonville. So that's interesting to say the least. The deal is worth $14 million for 2 years. So that's pretty cool. I don't know who club agreed. The other being former Chicago Bear lineman Roy Robin Harris, who played a 3-4 defensive end, interior passer for the Bears. According to Mike Garofalo, NFL Network, it's a 3-year deal worth $24.4 million and has $14 million guaranteed in that contract. So that is another. So The Jaguars did two things today. One, they signed two defensive people, and two, they signed two offensive people in free agency to get ready for, of course, the 2020-2021 season. I'm sorry, excuse me, the 2021-2022 season. My apologies. But yeah, so they have again made some moves, picking up two offensive guys, two defensive guys, and again the draft is happening in late April. So yeah, it's very exciting news for Urban Meyer and company there. So that's excellent news for the Jaguar fans out there, everyone in Duval County. So yeah, absolutely. So they're off to a blazing start in free agency. The next team, guys, I wanted to bring along would be the Miami Dolphins. Again, here's a team that has a lot of cap space. They also get the Houston Texans to trade linebacker Bernard Kenny to Miami for linebacker Shaq Larson. They have agreed to swap starting linebackers with Miami, sending Shaq Lawson and Houston receiving Roderick McKinney in return. The teams will also be swapping late round picks in the deal. Miami sending out a 2021 6th round pick and receiving a 2021 7th round pick told there. The trade, of course, cannot be official until St. Patrick's Day, which is this Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's interesting. McKinney now will be opposite of Jerome Baker and fill a void vacancy by release of Kyle Van Noy, pending free agency departures. Camille Grill-Hill and Eldon Roberts are both in free agency. So they went ahead and swapped linebackers here, guys, not quarterbacks. They didn't trade for Deshaun Watson. I think everyone thought that maybe that was what was going to happen, but they have not made that move yet. I don't know if they're going to make that move. Again, as I mentioned on my, last week when I had this show on Friday, I mentioned that they're, I would let you guys know as soon as I know if the trade had been made for Deshaun Watson and has yet to be made. The Dolphins made no moves or mistakes in the first few hours of free agency, but moves are coming. Of course, we know they can't make anything official until Wednesday anyway, but there have been some trades going on. So that'll be interesting to see where the Dolphins go. Maybe that Deshaun Watson trade is yet to come. That definitely will be, we'll have to wait and see on that. They did sign a punter today. The Dolphins signed Michael Pilardi. Terms of the contract were not disclosed, though it was reported as a 1-year contract. So he is saying goodbye. Well, the trade isn't official yet, but it didn't stop McKinney from taking to Twitter to say goodbye to the city of Houston, as he has reported. Watson, of course, has requested a trade from Houston this offseason, and we can only guess what prompted Lawson to remove the photo. So, again, we'll have to wait and see. I have not heard any news about the Deshaun Watson trade. I think I'm not going to say that it's not going to happen. There have been rumors that it is going to happen. There have been rumors that it's not going to happen. So we'll have to wait and see, guys, how that all boils down over the next couple days. And as we get closer, obviously, to the new season starting in a couple of days I don't think any trades can be done officially until we get to Wednesday anyway. So we'll have to wait. Maybe they're waiting until Wednesday to make a huge blockbuster deal. But the Dolphins, again, guys, are a team that could be right there in the thick of it in the AFC East. I know the New England Patriots went on a spending spree earlier today, so they're moving up to try to get back into the thick of it. And the Buffalo Bills are the team that won the division last year and, looking pretty damn good this year coming in too. So we'll have to wait and see how the Bills-Dolphins stack, how they stack up as they chase the Bills for the division title. The next team, guys, is, of course, the defending Super Bowl champions. And somehow, some way, this team found a way to sign their big 3 free agents. That was Shaquille Barrett, Lavonte David, and Chris Godwin. If you did not hear on the Friday show, Godwin was tagged. Lavonte David got a 2-year deal. And today, breaking today, Shaquille Barrett signed a 4-year, $72 million contract with Tampa Bay Buccaneers. $36 million, guys, is guaranteed. So now Tom Brady agreed to an extension through the 2022 season that saved the team $19 million against the cap in 2021. Barrett entered the 2022 season on the franchise tag after the two sides were unable to agree to an extension. Well, that is no longer. He is coming back to Tampa. So again, this is something they all, they were hoping, as Brady said, to bring the band back together, and they're going to have a majority of that defense back. There's a few guys out there. I think Dominic Sue, I think, still hasn't been signed yet. There's a few of them that have not been signed quite yet. But other than that, the team is pretty whole, because guess who else is coming back? Rob Gronkowski. He signed a 1-year, $10 million deal today to return to the Bucs. He said last year that he wanted to play one more year. He said that he did not want to play for anybody but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, so he is back. He caught 2 big touchdown passes in the Super Bowl win over the Chiefs. So again, Gronkowski spent the first 9 seasons of NFL career with the Patriots, winning 3 Super Bowls. He has 5 Pro Bowl selections and a 4-time first-team All-Pro. He has won 4 rings, 3 with New England, 1 with the Bucs, and now if they can get back there, barring injury, getting back to the Super Bowl again, he would have 5. Brady would have 8. If they do win this year, I'm not jinxing it, and I'm not saying that it's ingrained that they're going to win another one, but bringing everybody back is pretty damn good. Pretty damn good chance. Now, also, too, what they did in the Super Bowl is they broke Joe Montana and Jerry Rice's postseason record for most touchdowns by a QB receiving duo. Brady and Gronkowski now have that record. So with the 2 touchdowns in the Super Bowl, he has that. He has a career 560 receptions for 8,484 yards and 86 touchdowns in 131 regular season games in his career. So Rob Gronkowski is back as a Buck. Shaquille Barrett is back as a Buck. Lavonte David is back. Chris Godwin is with franchise tag. I have a funny feeling, guys, they will work on a deal with him next year. The cap is going back up because the TV money will be coming in next season. So the money will be there next year for the Bucs to bring back Chris Godwin. And if they have to bring back any of their other free agents, they'll have a little bit more money to maneuver around to bring back this team again next year. But barring that, guys, here are 3 players that they should stay away from during the offseason. Jason Light needs to kind of stay away from these guys. Antonio Brown, guys, has still not been signed. I'll probably try to bring him back as well, because the guy that's number 1 on this list is Odell Beckham Jr. This is something this is a far-fetched opportunity, in my opinion. First of all, OBJ makes way too much money. The Bucs cannot afford that contract. I can't see that happening. I cannot see that happening at all. That I cannot see them signing and bringing him here. They can bring Antonio Brown back for a lot cheaper than bringing him in. And again, you already have Godwin. You already have Mike Evans. Why in the world would you want to bring in another number 1 receiver when you already have one in Mike Evans, who, by the way, has had 7 1,000-yard receiving seasons? All 7 years he's been in the league, he's had 1,000 career seasons. So why in the heck would you want to ruin that possibility? I sure wouldn't want to do that. Now, as far as running backs go, stay away from Adrian Peterson. Here's a guy that, has probably past his prime. Leonard Fournette was a good, something like that. Players like Peyton Barber and Dario Bumawale, 2 major contributors that departed before last season with Sean McCoy, Leonard Fournette, and Keyshawn Vaughn, were brought in for a short while later, but more departures are coming in the next few months. So McCoy should be gone for sure, and Fournette shouldn't be too far behind. So those 2 are going to be gone. You still, of course, have Ronald Jones. They're going to need to get another running back, maybe Trap. Maybe Keyshawn Vaughn ends up being the running back that they need backing up that. We will have to wait and see. James White a guy that is very familiar with Tom Brady, could very easily be that type of guy that could come here and would be a lot better option than Adrian Peterson would be. The other one, guys, is Patrick Peterson, the cornerback from Arizona. He's kind of lost a lot of it. I know Todd Bowles probably would love to have him in the defense, but again, you have Carlton Davis, Jamel Dean, Sean Murphy-Bunting are all trending in the right direction. You don't need to break up that crew. And yeah, I again, just like with OBJ, I think Patrick Peterson's contract is way too much for the Bucs to take on right now. I don't see that happening. So yeah, I would stay definitely away from those three guys. But that is what it is. And again, the Bucs, of course, have the 32nd pick in the first round, the last pick of the round, being that they're the Super Bowl champions. We'll see which way they go. They've done, a very good job the last 2 years in the draft. So that definitely ended up being very, very well for them. So again, we'll have to wait and see with the three teams. The Jaguars obviously have the number 1 overall pick. They got a lot of cap room, the most in the NFL. They signed, again, 2 offensive players, 2 defensive players today. The Dolphins haven't made any kind of big deals quite yet, but they have some trades in the works that can't be official until, of course, Wednesday. And the Buccaneers have re-signed Shaquille Barrett and Rob Gronkowski the same day. So that's interesting. Interesting that they were able to bring both of those guys back. So the team is starting to come back together as it was last year when this team won the Super Bowl. Guys, I'm going to bring the Rowdies up. I don't have any Rowdies news at this time. I shared on Friday where the Rowdies are. The season's going to start on or around May 1st. That was what the article that I read said, that it was going to start on or around May 1st. So, again, that is the way. I don't have any Rowdies news yet. Waiting, again, we're a couple months away. Maybe as we get closer to the season, I'll have a little bit more news leading into the season. But there was a golf tournament yesterday in Ponte Vedra Beach. That is home of the Players Championship. This is the Island Green behind me here on 17. Yeah, that's right, the Island Green behind me. Justin Thomas won his first Players Championship yesterday, fending off Lee Westwood and Bryson DeChambeau. Thomas won by 1 shot over Westwood, 2 shots over Brian Harman and DeChambeau himself. Thomas earned $2.7 million for his efforts at the TPC at Sawgrass, the largest winner check on the PGA Tour. So a lot of guys, if you are into golf, a lot of golfers and a lot of people would say that this is the 5th major. There are 4 majors on the PGA Tour. The Masters, which is a few months away, I'll cover more of that on my Thursday show than I will on this show. Then you have the PGA Championship, the U.S. Open, and then the Open Championship, or the British Open, is the final major of the year, and that's off of U.S. soil. But the Players is sometimes considered the 5th overall major. Some people don't even want to call it a major, just the tournament it is, because there are a lot of very ample golf fans out there. I don't care, guys. I really don't care. If you want to call it a 5th major, great. It doesn't bother me to call it a 5th major if that's the way you want to do it. But to me, it is what it is. Guys, here are 6 numbers that summarize a dramatic Sunday at TPC at Sawgrass. 14. Thomas claimed his 14th PGA victory with a final round 68. He began the day trailing by 3 shots, but the 27-year-old vaulted ahead of a competitor's Lee Westwood and Bryson DeChambeau following a 5-under run through holes 9 through 12. Thomas joined some elite company with his 14th title, 14th PGA Tour win before the age of 28 since 1960. Only 3 players have done that. And that would be Jack Nicklaus, Johnny Miller, and yes, Tiger Woods. 17. Thomas hit 17 of 18 greens in regulation on Sunday and has inches short of perfection. No player has ever hit all 18 greens during the final round at Sawgrass. That's interesting. I did not know that, so that's pretty cool. 11.19. Thomas also put in a world-class ball striking display over the entire week. He was 7 shots off lead going into Saturday before shooting a 64-68 to win the tournament. Tour veteran gained 11.19 strokes tee to green on the field during that stretch. I mean, that's awesome for Justin Thomas. 2.7 million is the largest prize so far. 5.5. Thomas hit a ton of quality shots throughout the week, but none have been more clutch than the 5.5-foot putt on par on this hole right here, the Island Green at 17, behind me there. 143. Bryson DeChambeau, tour undisputed longest hitter, hit a 143-yard drive on Sunday that ultimately cost him to lose the golf tournament. So I did not know that. He went on to make a double bogey in the 4th hole and wound up 2 shots shy of a playoff. So that's disappointing for Bryson DeChambeau on that one. So there you go, guys. I told you I was going to cover sporting events within the state of Florida. I think they're moving out of Florida next week. So we'll have to wait and see. I'll check the schedule to see if there's any more tournaments coming in the state of Florida so that I can cover them on here for you guys next week, or the next few of the weeks to come. The next, we'll head to the National Hockey League, guys, and we'll talk about the Florida Panthers coming off of their Saturday. Again, I was talking about this on my Friday show that they had a game the next day on Saturday. Well, guys, they won 4-2 over the Chicago Blackhawks in Sunrise. The leading goal scorer in the game was Alexander Barkov. He had 2 goals, 1 assist, and 3 points with 5 shots on goal. He had 2 goals. Carter Verhaeghe had 1 goal and 1 assist, 2 points. He had 3 shots on goal. Frank Vatrano, 1 goal, 1.3 shots on goal. Those were the 4 goals, guys, that the Panthers scored, 4-2. And now let me go ahead and check the leaderboard here because they are currently playing against the Blackhawks again this evening. And last time I had checked, right before I got on here, guys, it was 1-1. So let's see where it is now. They are tied at 3 going into the 3rd period. So maybe at the end of the show, guys, I can give you an update on that. But right now it is 3-3 heading into the 3rd period for the Florida Panthers against the Chicago Blackhawks. Sergei Bobrovsky got the win, guys. He allowed 2 goals, 32 saves, or 32 shots on goal, 30 saves, with a .938 save percentage. So there you go with that. The next team, guys, I will jump to is, of course, the Tampa Bay Lightning. They played earlier today, but the game back they also had a game on Saturday where they raised their Stanley Cup banner to the Raptors. It was already raised a little bit off the ground, but they finally raised it all the way to the Raptors on Saturday night. There were people in the building, so they raised the banner to the Raptors finally. And then they went out and handled Nashville pretty well in a 6-3 win, scoring 2 goals in every period in that game. Let me go ahead and, guys, give you guys the goal scorers from the game. That would be 1 goal from Blake Coleman, 1 goal from Tyler Johnson, 1 from Anthony Cirelli, 1 from Matthew Joseph, 1 from Alex Killorn, and 1 from Braden Point were the 6 goals scored. The biggest point getter was Eric Chernak. He had 2 assists, 2 points with 3 shots on goal. So he was the big one. Andre Palat, also the same kind of thing. 2 assists, 2 points, 3 shots on goal for him moving into it. Now earlier today, guys, they lost 4-1, scoring only their lone goal in the 3rd period. The Predators had 3 in the 2nd, 1 in the final period. Earlier today, the 1 goal coming from the captain, Steven Stamkos, who had 1 point and 2 shots on goal. And again, they lost Curtis McElhinney, 25 shots on 25 total shots, 25 save, 25 shots, 22 saves, 3 goals allowed, and with a save percentage of 880. The fourth goal was an empty net goal, so that's why it did not count for that one towards the Lightning again, guys, seem to have a little bit of issues amongst when Curtis McElhinney plays in the net. I don't know what else to say, but that just seems to be that way. They'll have to get doing a much better job moving forward if they're going to do that. But guys, the Sunshine State Sports Jabber is sponsored by Arena Eats. Again, log on to the website arenaeats.app for the ultimate fan experience at your favorite sports venues. Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, in-seat delivery. To this, and why did that? Yeah, that's weird. All right. So it's 3 errors. The Astros 5 runs, 10 hits, and no errors in the game. They have a game tomorrow against the Washington Nationals on the road at a 6:05 first pitch tomorrow. And previous games, guys, they lost 6-4 to the Cardinals on Saturday. So there is that with them. So that is the Miami Marlins news. Again, a lot of people have this team losing 90-plus games, as I said on this show on Friday when I was making up for it last week. They predict a 90 next year or this year coming up. The Tampa Bay Rays, I forgot to put the Marlins logo up there. I'm sorry, guys. Forgot to put the Marlins logo up there. The Rays, on the other hand, they won 8-7. I'm sorry, lost 8-7 yesterday to the Braves, and they lost today 3-2 to the Boston Red Sox. Here's a team, like I was saying, that is going to rely heavily on hitting. They have to score some runs. They're going to have to try to fill in the void of Blake Snell and Charlie Morton with the pitchers they picked up during the offseason. They play tomorrow, 1:05 first pitch at home against the Baltimore Orioles, who is their AL East opponent. So we'll have to wait and see how they play themselves out to that. But then again, guys, nothing really big. I haven't heard any news about people getting cut. I know that G-Man Choi's been, sitting. He's been resting. They're not going to play him for a couple of days. So there are things that, that are still out there, for the Rays and stuff like that. But no big news. Nobody got traded or anything like that. So nothing big on the Rays front. Let me go ahead, guys, and jump to the National Basketball Association, and I'll start with the Toronto Raptors. Now, the Raptors, so let's dive into their games real quick here and see whereabouts they are here. They had a game against the Charlotte Hornets on Saturday, losing 114-104. They're currently 17-21 on the season. I think they're 17-22 actually, I believe now, because they lost today. The big point scorer was DeAndre Bembry, 25 minutes. He had six rebounds, 2 assists, and 11 points. Kyle Lowry had 19 points, 31 minutes, 6 rebounds, 8 assists. And then Chris Boucher, 32 minutes, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 16 points in their 10-point loss to Charlotte on Saturday. Now, today, or I think not today, but yesterday, they lost to the Chicago Bulls, 118-95. The record is at 17-22. In this game, guys, the big point getter here was Norman Powell, 37 minutes, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 32 points. Kyle Lowry, 37 minutes, 5 rebounds, 8 assists, 20 points. Chris Boucher, 26 minutes, 4 assists, 4 rebounds, no assists, 17 points. For the game, guys, they shot 38% field goal percentage, 26% from the three-point line, and 71% from the foul line. So the Raptors are starting to have to figure out what they're going to do as the season winding down in the NBA. But again, we'll have to wait and see how that goes. So let me go ahead, guys, and move on to the next. And I think the NBA trade deadline is also coming up, so we'll keep our eyes out to see if the Hornets make any moves along with the team that's now behind me. The Miami Heat. They had some games too. They had a game last Friday night in a 101-90 win over the Chicago Bulls. In that game, the leading point getter was Jimmy Butler, 33 minutes, 3 rebounds, 8 assists, 28 points. Goran Dragic, 32 minutes, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 25 points. Those were the two big scorers there. The Heat shot 46% from the field, 34% from the three-point line, and 75% from the foul line. From the foul line. Yesterday, guys, they had a 102-97 win over the Orlando Magic instead at 21-18. Once again, Jimmy Butler was the leading scorer again with 36 minutes, 7 boards, 9 assists. Tyler Hero, 29 minutes, 8 boards, 3 assists, 22 points for them. He 28% from three-point line and then 93% from the foul line. The Heat are 21-18. So there you go with that. They're starting to cook a little bit. Their next game, guys, is tomorrow night at home against the Cleveland Cavaliers. So the Cleveland Cavaliers are their next opponent up. The Orlando Magic, I'm going to go into that. Friday night, they lost to the Spurs 104-77. In that game, the Magic's leading point scorer was Nikola Vacek, 29 minutes, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 26 points. Dwayne Bacon had 33 minutes, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 15 points. The Magic only had 2 players in the double-digit mark for points. They only shot 36%. I forgot to change the logo here. Sorry about that. Let me go ahead and do that real quick. They shot 36%, guys, from the overall, 26% from the three-point line, and 75% from the foul line. And again, I already went over their loss yesterday to the Heat. Let me give you the Magic side of it instead of the Heat side. Their leading scorer here again was Vujatovic, who probably will be traded at the deadline. 38 minutes, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, 38 points. Terrence Ross, 34 minutes, 6 boards, 2 assists, 31 points in that game. This time around, again, they only had 2 people, guys, in double digits as far as points. They shot only 44% from the field, 40% from the three-point line, 71% from the foul line. So they, again, have been struggling. This team is 13-26. We don't expect too much of them. This might be one of those years that the Magic go in and trade a lot of people, try to get a lot of picks and young guys back to build the team around. That's definitely going to have to be something the Magic are going to have to do moving forward. But that is that for the NBA news, guys. So let me move on now to the Miami Hurricanes. We'll move to the college level. Real quick, guys, there will be no basketball news for the Miami Hurricanes as both the men's and women's teams did not make the March Madness. So I will be the Hurricanes basketball season is over. I can cover football and cover baseball or another sport for Miami until football comes back. If that's something that you guys want me to do, I'll be more than happy to cover the Hurricanes baseball team while we are waiting, because both the basketball teams have been eliminated and neither one of them made it to their respective tournaments. On the flip side of it, I am going to go into what Manny Diaz and the story surrounding their practice is coming definitely right here. Again, they will be playing the Chick-fil-A kickoff game against the Alabama Crimson Tide, who, again, guys, are the defending national champions in Atlanta, Georgia. That's how the season will start. One of the big questions is how will the offensive line be configured? Again, if you're going to have a quarterback, you got to have an offensive line that is going to protect them. The Canes ranked tied for any at 124 instead of what teams that gave up. Unit gave up 2.73 sacks per game, and 117th out of 124 teams allowed 7.91 tackles for a loss per game. So the offensive line is definitely going to have to get better this year. Will the second year and first year coaches take a leap in a more normal this season? There have, of course, offensive coordinator, and all these guys are going to have to take a step up. Will they progress this year for Coach Diaz? Hopefully they will. They're going to have to take some kind of moving forward if the Hurricanes are going to have a successful season. I really honestly can say I think right now it's going to end up being they definitely need to step up a little bit this year. The coaches have to get everything going, for them. The dynamic duo of Mike Harvey Jr. and Charleston Rambo, which wide receiver will emerge as the next productive targets? Again, when you have a young quarterback, I believe the Hurricanes will have, you're going to have some wide receivers to step up. Deandre King may be back. He continues to rehab his knee, so we'll have to wait and see. Which QB rises behind King on the depth chart? Again, with King out there, you still have N'Keal Perry as well, so it'll be interesting to see who steps up behind King. Trevor Van Dyke, Jake Garcia, Peyton Mataka are all three guys that could be there. What will the transfers and newcomers bring to the table? Obviously, that'll be interesting to watch as the spring football season continues for a lot of teams. Can the defense back seven prove to be more reliable than they were in 2021 than they were last year? You want to create turnovers and stuff like that. Obviously, that is great. Which freshman will shine? Jake Garcia, quarterback. Elijah Arroyo, striker Kaz, Smith, safety Kamari Kitchens, offensive tackle Michael McCanahan, linebacker Thomas Davis, and kicker Andre Baragas also are which freshmen are going to step up. So, again, we'll have to wait and see how the Miami Hurricanes end up doing during the offseason and during spring of what's going to happen with the franchise. It's definitely going to be interesting, to say the least, on how Manny Diaz and company, again, starting off with Alabama. It would be quite an upset if they could somehow find a way to beat Nick Saban and company. Again, a lot of people are going to tell you that can't happen. It's not going to happen. Don't ever say it can't happen, because games like this could play into their in their favor, because not anyone's going to pick them. So you never know what might happen. We'll have to wait and see how that goes. Next, guys, I will jump to the boys and girls that call Tallahassee home, and that's the Florida State Seminoles. The Noles wrapped up their first week of spring practice, so they are ready to go. So, again, it is very, very wise for Mike Norvell and company to get Mackenzie Milton also, coming in from UCF, is injured. So, again, this should be a little bit more interesting season. There is not a lot of things swirling around the Noles this year like there was a year ago. A year ago at this time, they were having issues with players who didn't receive a Skype call from Coach Norvell. Then after he kind of calmed that fire down, some of the wide receivers called the university ignorant when handling COVID cases and how they were handling the testing procedures and stuff like that. So that's Another thing, Coach Norvell had a really rigmarole offseason so far this year. Thank goodness this team has not had anything like that come up so far. So far, it's been a better second year. Obviously, there's going to be spring football this year. There was no spring ball a year ago, so there is going to be spring ball this year for all the teams out there. The Florida State men's basketball team earned the number 4 seed in their fourth consecutive NCAA tournament appearance. So congratulations to the guys in Tallahassee, finishing the season 16-6 and 11-4 in the ACC. They will be the number 4 seed. The Noles first game will be on Saturday at 12:45 p.m. against the number 13 seed UNC Greensboro, who are 21-8 at Bankers Light Fieldhouse. It will be broadcast on True TV. Head coach Leonard Hamilton got an extension. FSU has played the Spartans 4 times, winning all 4 games. The most recent matchup was in 2011 and a 75-60 win. FSU's potential second-round opponents would be either number 5 seed Colorado, 22-8, or number 12 seed Georgetown, 13-12. That game will be played Monday, March 22nd. So congratulations to Coach Hamilton and the Noles getting to the tournament and being the number 4 seed overall. The Lady Noles also, guys, made it to their respective dance. They are the 9th seed. They'll take on number 8 seed Oregon State on Sunday at 7:30 p.m. on ESPN2. So that will begin for them as well, as they are in the San Antonio region of the tournament. So congratulations to both the Noles and the Lady Noles on getting to their respective tournaments in March. Both teams are heading to the big dance with a chance, of course, to win it all, win the national championship, and bring it back home to Tallahassee for the Noles as well. All right, guys, we'll go ahead and jump now to the guys, ladies, and guys that call Gainesville home, and that's the Florida Gators. We'll kind of stop real quick, guys, in the football department. Dan Mullen defines run game efficiency for the Florida Gators offense. Now, remember, you're going to have Emory Jones this year, guys, which is a little bit more mobile than when Kyle Trask was. The running game has not really been that great over the past few years for the Gators. So they're trying to get it to where they can have a more efficient running game. So that will end up being that way, guys. I mean, they ranked 11th in the SEC. They 8th. Gators 8th ranked SEC, 4.3 yards per carry was a bit more encouraging and actually outplaced their 2019 production by a 10th of a yard. So running the ball has been an issue for the Gators for a long time, and now it's going to come to a head. And Coach Mullen wants to get this all corrected prior to the season starting. You know, they want to be more efficient. If you guys are in my neck of the woods, they will be here, guys, on September 11th at Raymond James Stadium to face the USF Bulls. It will be the Bulls' home opener in football. The Gators will be coming down here, and that'll be the first of 3 games the 2 universities play. The next 2 games will both be in Gainesville. But the one game will be here this year. It was actually supposed to be in Gainesville this year and then at Raymond James Stadium next year, but due to the coronavirus, they switched it around and moved the Raymond James Stadium game up till this year and moved the Gainesville games to the final 2 years. The men's Gators basketball team, 7th seed in their bracket, 2021 bracket. They're in the South region. So the number 1 seed Baylor, Arkansas, North Carolina, the winner of the Florida Virginia Tech game will face the winner of the Ohio State and number 15 Oral Roberts. So whoever wins that game, if the Gators beat Va Tech, will either play number 2 Ohio State or number 15 Oral Roberts in round number 2. The Lady Gators, on the other hand, did not make the March Madness tournament. They were eliminated in the SEC tournament. So the Lady Gators will have to wait until next season to bounce back. But the men's team did make it. We'll pay close attention, obviously, to if they win their game against Va Tech coming up in the near future. So congratulations to the men's team in Gainesville on getting to the big dance there. The next team, guys, I cover, of course, is the UCF Knights. Now, not really any big news, guys, on the football front. Gus Malzahn is building his team, obviously, with bringing in transfers. He's got his coaching staff put together. He, again, if you guys missed the Friday show, has put the state of Florida on attention that the best team in the state of Florida is not in Gainesville. It's not in Coral Gables. It's not in Tallahassee. It's definitely not in Tampa. It's in Orlando. The Knights are the best team in the state of Florida. He's going to prove that this year. He is going to continue the winning tradition that the Knights have had over the past few seasons, and he promises that as well. This year, USF travels to Orlando to play the Knights. I was at the first USF-UCF game last year. I left early because the Knights were winning, and I leave the game, and the USF almost came back and won that football game. But meanwhile, the men's team did not, their men's basketball team did not make it, but the women's team thinks that they should be splitting the AAC season title with USF because they beat the Bulls late in the season, so they think that they should be given the title. I think UCF also did make it to the tournament. Let's see. I believe they did. Maybe they did not. I don't really know if I know USF did, but I guess I would have thought that UCF would have made it too. They were number 2 in their thing, so they still can think that they should be splitting it with USF. Not looks like they're going. They're top 15. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't see anything about them getting to the tournament, but I'm assuming that they're in there because again they were one of the top teams in the AAC, only behind USF, who they lost to in the tournament at the end there. So I don't know what happened there. And then again, guys, before I close my show, I always close it with the USF Bulls. Anything that I miss, guys, will be talked about tomorrow night on Bullseye with me and Larry Frank starting at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But that is, we go more in depth this year. Could USF go deep in 2021? The idea is no longer a stretch. Through 4 practices, the Bulls are showing signs of a vertical passing attack. Now, here's something, guys. Somebody that's covered the USF football team in the last 3 years, all I want to do is see them have a winning season. Yes, my first year covering them was the second to last year for head coach Charlie Strong, and they won the first 7 games in a row to lose their final 6, including a bowl game. The year after that, they only won 2 games, I think, 2 games that year, and then last year only winning 1 in Coach Scott's first year. COVID had a lot to do with that, so I want to see what this team does. They have a good problem with quarterback situation. They have 4 decent quarterbacks. Hopefully, we don't play the carousel game. Coach Scott has to go with 1 guy and 1 guy only. Don't have this continuing. Let's put a guy in, take a guy out. It needs to stay with 1 guy. They need to figure out who that guy's going to be this year and stick with that 1 guy and not keep bouncing around from quarterback to quarterback to quarterback because your offense does not. But again, maybe with the vertical passing attack, there's a chance that this team may be developing one. At last I read, Cade Fordington was the lead guy. He was the lead guy that was coming out this year. So they, since averaging 8.1 yards per pass attempt in the 2017 season, That was the final year for Marlez Vantel-Scantling and quarterback Quentin Flowers. That was the year before, 2 years before I got a chance to see the Bulls. But again, if they can move the ball and they can run the ball, it will be a good thing for Coach Scott and company. If they're not just a one-dimensional offense. They can do both. That would be outstanding if they can do both. Fan-freaking-tastic. If that happens to come that way, then that happens to come that way. Coming up this season. Again, their home opener, guys, is on September 11th at home against the Florida Gators, who will be coming down here for their first of three games between the two schools. The other two games will both be in Gainesville. I believe next year in the 2024 season, I believe. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, I do apologize on the time frame. The men's basketball team lost to the Wichita State Shockers by 1 point on Friday and are now physically out of going anywhere as far as March Madness goes. But the USF Bulls women's team may have got kind of snubbed a little bit. They got the number 8 seed, and they'll face the Washington State Cougars to start the tournament. This will mark the 7th time the USF has made the tournament in 06, 2013, 15, 16, 17, 18, and now 19. So the last 5 seasons, this team, that would be 13, 15, 16, 17, 18, and then, of course, this year in 2021. Washington State finished 12 and 11, 9 and 10 in the Pac-12. The Cougars are making just their second appearance in the tournament, the first time since they've made it since 1991. So that will be the team that the Bulls will play at 9:30 p.m. on Sunday on ESPN2. That will be the time of the tip for the USF Women's Bulls. It looks like right here that USF men's basketball senior guard David Collins has entered the transfer portal. So he is not going to be playing for Coach Gregory next season. So that is new news as well, that he is going to the transfer portal. He played a hell of a season, probably was one of the bright spots for USF this past year. Guys, I do apologize that the show this evening is so short. Again, normally I have, men's and women's basketball. Have to cover another sport for you guys coming up for each of the teams. Like I said, maybe I can cover baseball and softball, or I can cover soccer for each team, for men's and women's soccer, for both of them. I'll be more than happy to cover those sports for each of the universities until, of course, the football season starts in August. We'll talk about that. But then again, guys, as I always do, this has been the Sports Nerd Brad Walker. This has been the Sunshine State Sports Jabber, which is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app for the ultimate fan experience at your favorite sports venues. Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order? Guys, this has, again, been part of NGSC Sports. Remember the website, guys. It's ngscsports.com for all your current sports content, including my articles, because I write for NGSC. Head over there, guys, and check out my articles. The latest one I wrote was about a quarterback conundrum at USF. The article I just wrote about is in there. But real quick, guys, as I always do at the end of my shows, I want to thank the first responders, doctors and nurses who have been the true heroes during the pandemic. Since it started last year, the numbers are starting to come down. Hopefully they'll be down again. Spring break is happening. So, we'll have to wait and see how that all plays itself out this year. Let's try to do the best we can to keep the numbers down so we don't have any more lockdowns or anything like that. Again, to the men and women of our armed services, both active, retired, and the ones who have left us, thank you for what you have done. Thank you for your sacrifice. I would not be able to do 3 podcasts a week and live a normal life if it was not for you guys sacrificing everything that you have. So thank you so much, for what you guys do. And our domestic soldiers, our police officers, firefighters, and paramedics, thank you for keeping us safe here domestically as well. And again, guys, thank you so much for hopping in here on a Monday night. Again, I know this show was just 3 days ago on Friday. I made it up. I just wanted to make up the show from last week because I think I want to say I think next week, guys, I'm not going to be doing any podcasting outside of Bullseye or writing. I'm taking the week to recharge my batteries. I do once a month. Unfortunately, last month I took a week. Not unfortunately, but I took a week to mourn the loss of my mom. If you guys did not know, my mom passed away on January 30th from a heart attack. So I took a week off in February from podcasting and writing. I'm taking next week off totally from writing and podcasting to give myself a chance to catch up on stuff for the month and stuff like that. I will take 1 week out of the month. So you'll get 3 weeks of me on Monday, 3 weeks of me or 4 weeks on Tuesday, and 3 weeks of me on Thursday. I will be on Bullseye tomorrow night, guys, from at 9 p.m. with Larry Frank. And join me over with my two awesome co-hosts, Adam Mangold and Louis Tenure, on Thursday. Both of those gentlemen both have shows of their own, both on Saturday, one from 10 to noon. The unfiltered one is by Adam Mangold from 10 to 12 o'clock a.m. or 12 p.m. from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. And Lewis's is from 5 to 7 over on In the Zone Sports Radio's broadcast. But they have those. They're both over there. So head on over there, guys, and see them. I will be back, guys, in a couple of weeks on this show. At the end of the month, on the 29th, you'll see me then. I'll be back here probably hopefully with some more news on things as the baseball season gets very closer and close. Starting up, we'll be talking baseball here soon. Talking a lot of baseball coming up. Basketball is winding down as well. Hockey's the same way. But until then, guys, everyone, please stay safe out there. Wear your mask. Follow the guidelines within your state and in your country. Until then, guys, this is the Sports Sir Brad Walker. I'll see you guys on the 29th. But until then, peace.